Naruto fans, here's something you probably never knew about Madara and Hashirama. They are representations of Mara and Buddha. You might know about Hashirama representing Buddha, and you probably have an idea about who Buddha is, but Mara, who even is that, bro? Well, if Buddhism had a devil, it would be Mara. He is the anti-Buddha, connected to Buddha by being his exact opposite. Just like Hashirama and Madara, he is the supposed evil within Buddhism, except he's not actually evil. Do you like living, care about health, wealth, accomplishments, have attachments, strive for fulfillment, gain, and keeping your family happy and safe by any means? Yeah? Well, then you are aligned with the real life Madara, the Buddhist devil. Surprise, you're actually opposing Buddha's ideas. Not that Buddha will care, because not caring about anything is like his whole thing. He all detached up there in nirvana. So you see how Mara is not really evil. He is most of us. Mara believes in a life of pleasure, desire, flirting with temptation, whereas Buddha is strictly opposed to all of it and says that life is suffering and desire, joy, temptation.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's all an illusion, and we should literally strive for emptiness and nothingness. Now, who sounds more fun at a party? Come on. I'm willing to bet most watching give into some temptation on the regular. That's why we need No Nut November. We tempted. Always. We all Mars people. And let's be honest here. Does Madara's world of eternal bliss really sound all that bad? Forget the means uses to get there for a second. The end goal of the infinite Tsukuyomi would have everybody living happily for all eternity, just within an illusion. And illusion is a key word here because it proves Madara technically agrees with Buddha's core teaching. Life is suffering. Madara just wants to end it with a happy illusion for all, and Buddha meanwhile says life is suffering, and all that happiness chasing we do within this life of ours is already that very illusion and is meant to be avoided. Have no attachments to anything the physical realms offer, and you will reach nirvana. Now mind you, nirvana is not paradise. It is not heaven where all the good people have the time of their lives, just get money. No, nirvana is just nothingness. Paradise does exist though in Buddhism, because Buddhism has 6 realms, right? Hell, another type of hell, the animal realm, the ashura realm of constant combat, the human realm we are in, and the deva realm, which is said paradise. All luxury, all joy, all bliss, all day.
All day, son. All day.
Depending on your karma, you are reborn into either. But Buddha's goal is to escape them all, whereas anti-Buddha Mara thinks everybody should spend all their time getting reborn into the 2 highest realms, the human realm and especially the paradise Deva realm, and be happy forever. Just like Madara believes that which Mara loves and Buddha calls an illusion, Madara straight up wants to create for us to live in eternal happiness. You get me? Now, I like my attachments. I hate injustice and suffering, and I avoid it at all costs. If I could get rid of it for everybody, I would. That is very anti-Buddha, and why I could always resonate with Mara and especially Madara's core idea. And honestly, don't we all? Social media, likes, views chasing, all these motivational videos telling you get up at 4 a.m. to fulfill your dreams and chase your goals. Yo, we live that life. And even beyond this life, most of us would love to ascend to paradise. So give Madara's methods a major twist, and suddenly his goal of happiness for all could make for a great protagonist, or at least a radical protagonist that many would agree with. Suffering, in the word of Naruto, is real, with a capital real. And Madara's way would get rid of it once for all, and Naruto's way just puts it on hold before it continues. Kishimoto just goes over the top with Madara's evil methods in order to paint a villain, and real Buddhism is actually doing the exact same thing. If you're wondering why all of Mara's depictions look like this, if you're trying to sell people on Buddhism, you gotta make the opposition look bad. So Mara and all his temptations are depicted as evil, usually taking on demonic forms, while the entirely detached Buddha was depicted as this beacon of light. But honestly, if we're really talking appearances, vanity It's not something that Buddha aligns with. Man, dude would look raggedy as hell. I'm talking bad. I'm talking whatever the exact opposite of vanity and caring about your looks is, that's Buddha. While Mara and his disciples, they be looking all kinds of beautiful and superficial, wearing the finest threads, living in luxury, all that. In Buddhism, the supposed dark side is very tempting. After all, the good side has no temptation, no attachment, no desire, just striving for nirvana, emptiness, and nothingness. Man, I talked about Madara and Mara, but there's plenty to analyze on the Buddha side of things within Naruto. Have you ever thought that Naruto is not really helping anybody? Neither is Hashirama, neither was Hagoromo. They're like Batman, locking up the Joker, knowing damn well dude is gonna break out and cause havoc again. They're perfectly fine with stopping evil and suffering, only for the cycle to repeat itself for the next savior. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Madara and Obito were the only ones with a real plan to stop the suffering. But in true Buddha fashion, Hashirama and Naruto accepted that life is suffering, and whatever happens, happens.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
That directly follows Buddha's footprints, who was also very okay with keeping the wheel of suffering spinning, unlike Khaleesi.
I'm going to break the wheel.
My man Buddha was all about life is suffering and acceptance, and all that desire is an illusion to be avoided in order to reach nirvana, which is literally emptiness and nothingness. Now, this guy doesn't exactly scream lack of desire or accepting things for what they are, but to simply stop evil, knowing full well the cycle will repeat itself and more people will suffer. That, to me, is a form of accepting that life is suffering. And I always felt like letting that cycle continue in the Naruto world is wrong. Naruto and Hashirama both had the power to take over and end all suffering forever, but chose to not offer real solutions, just band-aids. Then Kishimoto introduces the one guy that actually wants to create a happy ending, but he has him using super evil methods for the sake of storytelling and creating a villain. But listen, I repeat, Madara's vision was the only real escape from pain and suffering the Naruto universe ever showed us. Yes, it goes against every idea of freedom, but as long as humans have free will and given to temptation on the everlasting quest to fulfill their own desires, there will always be those who are exploited, because ultimately one's gain beyond measured means can only come at the expense of someone else, aka life is suffering. God damn, that makes it sound like Buddha was right. Did I just goddamn Buddha? Is that like a sin? Where do y'all stand? Is it okay to let the cycle of suffering in the world of Naruto continue and to accept that this is just what free will and life leads to? Or should life be bliss at the expense of some freedom? Or to bring it back to my initial example, how many lives can the Joker take before it is Batman's responsibility for letting the Joker live? Yeah, this is deeply philosophical and goes way beyond anime. Show that to somebody next time they're like, oh, cartoons and anime are just silly. For my deep thinking Naruto fans, the Sage of Sixpence in Naruto is literally a representation of Buddha bringing enlightenment to the world. In Naruto, this is called the Will of Fire, inherited by one savior after another. And sure, Buddha was more about accepting that life is suffering, while the Will of Fire successors are about combating suffering, but the fact that there is a need for a Hashirama after Hagoromo, a Naruto after Hashirama, is, in essence, a sign of acceptance that life is suffering and that the cycle has to continue and that people can choose their own fate time and time again. Just like in Buddhist values, all is balance and there can be no good without evil. That cycle is crucial, and the savior, the Will of Fire, only exists as a part of that repeating cycle. You get me? I'm all deep and poetic and shit. The interesting thing is that in Buddhism, the goal is nirvana, the end of rebirth, leaving the physical realm and ascending to nothingness. Madara and Obito, meanwhile, try to trap people in a happy illusion within the physical realm forever. Essentially, they will put a stop to all nirvana ascensions, to all enlightenment. After all, again, true balance means that suffering is needed to even be enlightened. A life that only knows joy, like a Madara's illusion, will never find enlightenment, never reach nirvana, and that will be the death of all Buddhist principles. You get me? I'm deep with this shit. That literally makes Madara the anti-Buddha, aka Mara in real Buddhism, but I have a video dedicated to this. Enter the power of the Ten Tails, the greatest power there is, necessary for Madara and Obito to complete their goal. And this is where we witness that only those who accept their life is suffering, who accept the cycle, like Naruto and Hagoromo, can wield the power of the Ten Tails. Those who choose to break the cycle, like Madara, cannot. It may be used to right the path from time to time to bring peace, but not to end the cycle, which is destined to continue with another savior inheriting the will of fire and another villain being cursed with hatred. You get me? Definish. Did you ever notice this special little detail about Naruto? His parallel to Buddha. This is gonna be one of them deep ones. You see, Naruto is literally modeled after Buddha, the one who brings enlightenment into a world of suffering, yet accepts that the cycle of the will of fire and curse of hatred can never be broken, that good needs evil, and that at the end of the day, life will always be suffering. That theme is all over the Ten Tails. It is the very power that is needed for Madara, who represents the anti-Buddha, to forever break that cycle, thus ending all suffering and trapping all of mankind in an illusion of happiness. That sounds good to some, but it would be the end of Buddha's values, because enlightenment and thus ascension to nirvana cannot happen from within an illusion that knows no suffering. Told you it's gonna be one of the deep ones. But in Naruto, that power eludes Madara. He cannot control the Ten Tails, and neither can Obito, because it cannot be used to break the cycle, which is destined to continue. The power can, however, be wielded by those who fight for the freedom of the people, aka the acceptance that free will lead to a continuation of the cycle of life being suffering. Deep! Enter Naruto, one of those people who can wield the power of the Ten Tails even though he never sought out that power. He wields it out of necessity, not desire, which is exactly in line with Buddhist values where desires are something to be avoided. See, the all-powerful Ten Tails can only be wielded by those who do not desire it, and that is where the parallel between Naruto and Buddha becomes perfect, because Buddha, just like Naruto, is all-powerful but never desired it. Buddha never wanted power or accolades, but people flocked to him due to his purity and inherent acceptance of life, and that's why he became all-powerful, just like Naruto. It's ironic because from a distance, both Buddha and Naruto allow for life to be free and thus allow for suffering, while Madara wants happiness for all, but it's an illusion that comes at the expense of freedom. It's a real mind twister, because if I asked you to choose between suffering or eternal happiness, you pick the latter, but the reality of freedom is suffering, while eternal happiness is an illusion. Naruto can accept it. Madara cannot.